Hi guys, welcome back to MotorManiacs. This is Prateek.
Hi guys, this is Akshay.
So Akshay, we have recently heard the rumors, not it's true,
Yeah.
that worldwide demand for a liter class bike has declined a lot. So Gixxer 1000 was the first one to be discontinued.
Discontinued.
Now we have the legendary R1 discontinued.
It's a sad day for motorcycling. Huh?
Correct.
One of the world's most favorite liter class bikes. The
R1,
only
Gixxer
liter
1000.
bike with a cross plane crank.
We still had I would say the posters of
The
that in our
posters of
rooms.
that bike.
Yellow color poster, yellow color bikes.
Yeah.
The 2008 and 9 model.
Yeah.
That was the famous
It's a
one.
legendary motorcycle, not only for the whole world but especially for India, because that was the first superbike that was officially launched in the showroom in India.
Correct.
So before that, there was only available as a grey market.
That was in 2007 when it was launched.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
Yeah.
Precisely, there are the four major, the big Japanese company, the Honda CBR Fireblade, the Suzuki Gixxer 1000, the Ninja ZX 10R,
10R.
the Yamaha R1. The R1 is gone.
Yeah.
Gixxer is gone. Now we just have ZX 10R as well as the
CBR 1000 RR.
7000. I believe it will be discontinued soon because it's very, very pricey.
It's very pricey.
10R will be still going on because it's still competitively
it's
pricey.
still accessible and it is still selling well.
But now if you see the scenario, people are moving towards the mid capacity bikes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because that is giving them the good amount of power. Let's speak about ZX6R.
Yeah.
It's a 130 bhp hour. That can go easily to 270 kmph per hour,
Yeah.
which is more than enough for everyone, right? It's a mid capacity engine. Now the big companies don't want to invest in the liter class R&D. They don't want to develop further because that incurs a lot of cost
The cost is the major problem. So
and the
guys,
demand is not there.
if you remember, the last time the latest generation R1 was updated 2 or 3 years back, we saw no increase in power. We saw nothing of that sort. We only saw advancements to the engine just to make it more efficient, to keep the 200 bhp power, but again meet the emission norms
See,
as well.
I'll tell you very
that is-
simple.
those two things are very hard to get.
Correct, because if you're increasing the price,
Yeah.
and if you are bringing a new model, people expect more power, right?
power.
If you don't give them, then we'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll give a very good example. That might not be directly involved, but it is.
Yeah.
The third gen Busa that was launched recently,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was priced 2-3 lakhs more than the previous gen.
Yeah.
It gets good hold of electronics, but the powers are reduced to 190 bhp.
Yeah.
Though the difference was just 7 bhp from the older one, but still people couldn't take it.
Yeah.
They didn't like that Busa.
I didn't like that.
It's sold initially, but now you'll see more pieces in the second-hand market.
Yeah.
People are not liking third gen Busa. They are used to the second gen Busa.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, it's very hard for the manufacturer to keep the power figure intact and also meet the emission norms. That's why we see a lot of manufacturers are increasing the cc of their bike, displacement of their bike, just to keep the power alive and meet the emission norms. So we are basically, the government laws are putting a chokehold on the bike's engine, and it's very hard to
That was the
get
reason
power.
ZX14R was discontinued.
Exactly. So that's the reason why the R1 is not, because
And if
Yamaha
this is-
doesn't want to invest, because they don't see the returns coming back to the company. Even if they invest that much money onto another gen of R1, they don't see the returns that will come back. So
Plus, the Busa, the third gen Busa, it is selling just because of the name.
just the name. Just the name.
But there's a difference. Like if you ride the old Busa, I know the new Busa has good electronics, more
Yeah.
advanced, more refined, but people are not liking that. Like you're taking more premium on the older one,
Yeah.
but you reduce the power. Though 7 bhp is not that much, but again, people are not ready to accept. You have to justify that exactly.
Because this is a segment where
And I tell you, if
the
the
numbers
power,
rule.
if the power would have been 205 bhp,
Yeah.
that's a 7 bhp more than then. It would
Yeah.
have sold in hotcakes.
Exactly.
Hot
So,
numbers.
so I mean, so you are already entering a space where not many people are going to be taking these bikes to the track. They are buying it for the headline figures. So you can brag on to your friends that you've got a 200 bhp motorcycle, and if you don't have that, I think it's a dent in the reputation,
See,
right?
what I believe, I've seen that anything above 500, 600 cc in India is just you buy the bike to satisfy your own ego. That's fact.
absolutely.
You don't require that. You actually don't require more than 60 bhp in India.
Yeah, true.
You cannot exploit that 60 bhp also.
Yeah,
Trust me, if you have Interceptor, that's merely 47 bhp.
yeah.
I bet you cannot ride that bike continuously over 130 kilometers per hour.
In India.
You cannot avoid that.
Yes.
You can ride it at a stretch of 160, and if something will come in between, you have to
You have
break.
you have to break. So, and another thing that we have noticed, that you must have seen the trend going towards the adventure touring motorcycles.
Yes.
Every brand is putting out adventure touring motorcycles because the sales numbers are there for that segment, and the liter bike segment has seen a decline in sales numbers if you compare it to.
It was at peak in 2015, 16.
Absolutely.
It was
I mean,
peak
at that time, it was
It was
absolutely
peak.
crazy at that time, because you see, people who didn't even wanted a liter bike were getting a liter bike just for the sake of it, because a lot of other
See,
people were buying it.
we don't want to demean you guys, but that's what the thought about what the market trend is seen now.
Yeah.
People are now investing on what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Adventure bikes, cruisers, they're buying cruisers, they're buying adventure bikes because that's comfortable. That will take you to the places.
Yeah.
Super bikes cannot take you to the places. Super bikes, you keep it for 3-4 years and you sell it off.
You keep
and
it-
eventually you go on to the cruiser or a adventure
Keep
bike.
it as a novelty item. And
Exactly.
I'm not talking about guys who are hardcore track riders. Again, I mean, that is a completely different segment.
We're generalizing
But
the concept.
so 80 to 90% of the people are not going to be taking it to the track. So we are
And,
talking about those.
yeah, and in European and American market also, we have seen the decreasing trend of liter class bikes.
Absolutely.
They all are taking up the mid segments.
The mid segments.
The ZX6R, I would say. Even see now people are. What I believe I've seen the trend. Apart from the hardcore riders, most of the people are now choosing the comfort.
Yeah.
They're getting off from this super sports tourer precisely.
Something more usable.
I believe that's the reason Triumph also launched Daytona in a 660cc.
Yeah.
That's more of a sports tourer that they are trying to
That's a
portray.
sports tourer again.
Less aggressive, good power,
Yeah.
but again,
So a lot of people are predicting that they're going to come up with a new Daytona, a proper super sports, but they are not putting out a proper sports, super
Exactly.
sports. They don't want to play in that category because the sales numbers are just not there. I mean, as enthusiasts, as much as we want those bikes, it doesn't make financial sense. They're going
For
to
a
be
company,
losing.
yes.
They're going to be losing money on
Exactly.
everyone they sell. So actually no point.
Exactly,
So
correct.
and again, another thing I want to bring up. So I mean, these are just trends. So once the trends drop,
It
then
will again
then
pick up.
It will again pick up.
I
It
don't
will
know
come back.
after 2-3 years what the market would say.
Yeah.
But as
Might
we
be a new R1 maybe.
maybe.
Hopefully, because
So-
there's still companies like Aprilia and Ducati and
Exactly.
BMW. They are playing in that segment because that segment is their bread and butter.
Correct.
And for Yamaha, a R1 is not their bread and butter. For Ducati, a V4 Panigale might be their bread and butter, but for Yamaha, it's
For
not.
BMW also, I don't think it's a bread and butter. For BMW, the GS
is the bread and butter.
Yes, exactly.
So they're just keeping it until they can, but companies like Suzuki or Yamaha, they don't want to
And
invest in
Kawasaki is
that.
playing as a price sensitive point and a
Yeah.
higher segment. Right?
Yeah.
Not the lower, but the higher segment. But yes, they are
The
really
reason
placing
why
that.
Kawasaki will still be alive is the bike that they're putting out is in more or less a 2010 version of that bike, slightly modified. So the R&D cost is already paid for. They're just making
Plus,
small,
they have a
small
very good
changes.
history with Bajaj.
Yeah, so
Kawasaki Caliber.
yeah.
So Kawasaki
So
Eliminator.
they can-
old one.
they can-
So they
they can
have the
still sell
checker
it.
plant and everything. They have
Exactly.
their things intact, so they don't have to invest more.
They're not-
Unlike other brands.
They haven't been investing because R1 was, I think, the most aggressive of all the Japanese leader bikes. So
And R6.
that was the cutting edge.
R6 was the
The legendary,
best,
of
legendary.
course,
It was
yes.
also discontinued now.
Yeah.
And R6 was the bike that would give a liter class bike a run for the on tracks.
Absolutely. So it remains to be seen what happens
Correct.
in WSBK. If the R1 there in WSBK is going to be carried on,
Exactly.
that remains to be seen. But of course, I think it's a sad day for motorcycling. we must
So
say.
guys, you comment down in the section below. What super bike would you prefer if you have the money? Would you go for R1, the Gixxer 1000, the ZX4 10R,
Yeah.
the Honda CBR Fireblade, the Aprilia 1000R, or the BMW S1001R?
Yeah.
Do like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. And thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys.